Welcome, welcome. I'm Dee, and this is a single mom unguided life where I try to navigate through finances, motherhood, being single, and everything in between. And I bring you guys along for the journey to hold me accountable. Okay, so part three is my discretionary expenses. And I break my discretionary expenses or variable expenses in two categories: cashless envelopes and sinking funds. This current year, I realized that I may have been incorrectly categorizing two items. What I decided to do is watch a couple videos, also look at the definition of these two categories, and determine that cashless envelopes or cash envelopes are usually categories where you spend immediately versus sinking funds is more so are categories where you're building a fund to pay for an event that's in the future. With that being said, I determined that gas and gifts were actually categorized incorrectly, and therefore I have moved gas back to cashless envelopes, which I did have that set up in the beginning of the year, but I decided to move it because what was happening is it was being built up because I wasn't driving in the beginning. And so that's where the confusion was set at. Now I understand that no, even though this fund may have a rollover balance from month to month, it still is a cashless or cash envelope category. Additionally, I did a estimate of what I am willing and able to send to these categories on a monthly basis. So for fun money is $50, for gas is 80, for groceries is 360, and that's still up in the air. I found towards the end of this year I actually spent a little bit more than I have in the beginning of the year, but right now we're going to sit at 360 for the month. Household is 100, personal is 200. I found that my normal personal maintenance is at least $100, but I still need to have a cushion to buy other things outside of my normal maintenance. Restaurants is still going to be $50. So these are just estimates. Like I said, that it can always change. It's just simply a guide for me when I am setting up my budget month to month. So the next area is sinking funds, and my sinking funds categories have grown. So I still apply the principle to my cashless envelopes in regards to verifying that these categories do fall underneath sinking funds. Additionally, I ask myself two questions. Is this category necessary? And does this category help with my mental state? And I know you're like, what does that have to do with anything? For me personally, when I have to spend out of pocket that I didn't plan for, it brings me anxiety to the point of I literally sometimes have to sleep off the worry. And I found this year that me having certain categories as sinking funds and building them up has decreased that. For example, a car in general has always been like an issue for me, especially when I have to take my car to a mechanic. Now, I'm always up on my scheduled maintenance, so there's never an issue with that. It's after they're done with my scheduled maintenance that they have determined these other areas that require assistance. And that's where I either go into a panic because I don't have the money for it, or two, I end up applying for their credit card and in turn debt. So it was very important for me this year to start a car maintenance sinking fund. And this car maintenance sinking fund has allowed for me to pay my property taxes, my registration, my tax, and it has also helped me with paying for 4 new tires during Christmas time. So, with that being said, I know that car maintenance is necessary and does help with my m- mental state. I've decided that I want to work on building this fund up to $1,200. And after I reach that cap amount, I'm going to lower the monthly allocation to $50 per paycheck. So I want to, and simply these are estimate numbers, so do not hold me to this. Things can change. I want to send at least $100 to this fund each paycheck. Excuse me. Um, Gifts was another category that I discussed that was placed in the wrong category. I mean, the wrong area because honestly, I don't buy gifts unless it's the person's birthday. So I never felt a need to build that fund. But then I realized what's happening is that I have to pull from my income, which in turn causes me to pull from other categories or make them less in order to accommodate buying a gift for a person. So I want to build this fund up so I can pull from it when it's someone's birthday. And these estimates here is on the, for monthly. So I think I need to change this because if this is per paycheck, that needs to be 200. So that's fixed. Okay. And so for gifts, it's going to be 25 each paycheck or $50. And it to me is a necessary category because I do like buying gifts. It's a way that I show my love to others. And it helps with my mental state because it doesn't cause me to create some type of deficit in order to give to someone else. The next category, which in the past I've called medical, I'm going to call health now. And I am going to send $30 a month. And that is $15 each paycheck. And that is because I do have regular medicine. And what I have been doing is just placing it underneath my expenses. Whereas I need to just start building it up because I know it happens every month for me. And that is not a cashless envelope category because I have what's called a spending account, a health spending account, a flexible spending account, whatever you want to call it. And I already have a portion of my pay, my gross pay, that my employer takes out and sends to this fund. And this fund is given to me in the beginning of the year. And any eligible expense, medical expenses, is pulled from this when I send in my reimbursement. What I'm going to start doing is instead of saying, oh, I got my money back because I paid this bill, what I'm actually going to be doing is taking that money and putting it in this category because I found towards the end of the year that I will need it. And it's best to have a cushion to pay it out versus than have pulling from, I would say, a like my budget, if that makes any sense, because I'm doing it anyway, so I might as well um go ahead and ensure I have that cushion. So I want to take $15 from my regular paycheck as well as when I get the reimbursement because what's happening in the beginning of the year, each time my I fill that prescription is pulling from that fund anyway. So why not just build it up versus, and maybe I shouldn't even pull from that. I don't know. It's confusing, but not. I'm sure I'll figure it out some way or the other. But if I decide to not really fund, maybe I will not fund the health category for my
Often
budget
assign a certain amount to gifts.
until
So when I
after
cannot
I've
find the
depleted
gift
my
for the
spending account
occasion, I
and will
go into
need
a
to be
straight
adding to it.
panic.
Let's go with
Therefore,
that.
I believe that it is best for me to sit
Okay, let's
money
go with that.
aside. So when it comes to
So with that
purchasing
being
gifts, I
said,
don't
I'm
really
actually going to
have to
make
think
this
about the
0
dollar amount,
for right now,
more so about
and then
what the
we'll
person
work our way
actually
through it.
wants. I'm a person
For
who searches for
the next
gifts based
category
on
is
what I'm feeling.
miscellaneous, and this is a
I do
category
listen
I
to
have
everything someone says.
not had in the
When I'm
past.
with
And what
them,
this
I take
category
notice
basically
of a lot of
is a
things.
way to
So if
build a
I
cushion
find that
for
the
my
item
cashless
that they
envelopes.
want
So in the
is
event
within
that
budget, I grab
one,
it. So that's
I have
the
rollover, I
long,
want to throw
short
to this
answer of it all.
category. In the event that I need something, I don't want to pull from one category to fund the other. I'm going to pull from the miscellaneous. I want to send at least $50 to, and maybe, you know what? I am actually going to send $25
Because,
each
short
paycheck. So that's going to be
answer,
$50
our
monthly.
health
I
care
think that
sucks.
that is a reasonable amount and will help me down the
Long
line. So
answer
that's what I'm
is
going to decide to do versus seeing the $100. Okay. The next category that I want to start funding is Papa. I was doing that this year only twice. Now I want to do it on a regular basis because he'll be transitioning and I want to make sure I am covered to be able to assist him in the event as well as preparing for, paying out of pocket for college. So that's a no-brainer, necessary, and does help with my mental state. For property, I'm going to still send the $15 a month. So that $15 a paycheck. So that's going to be $30 a month instead of $15 a month that I was doing in the past. Now, my taxes and side income is for my side income. So nothing out of my budget will be coming from out of there. I just need to notate it because it is a fund that I monitor. The next one is a category that was known as vacation, but I'm going to call it travel. And the reason is because I think that I caused myself to limit the use of it because I was calling it vacation versus travel. I know it's like it's a play on words, but for my mental state, the word holds differently to me. So that's why I decided that I'm going to send $50 a paycheck to travel, which I
I
wasn't
guess that's the
funding
beauty of budgeting.
in this
Because
year,
based on a
and that's
scenario,
$100 a
wherever I
month.
pull the money
The
from,
next and last
I
category
should put
is
the
the
money
bill
back.
carryover.
So if I pay for
And
my
this is
doctor
simply
visit
any
with my unbudgeted portion
expenses
of my
bills themselves
budget, I
that I
need to
budget
return that money back to that category
for,
when I
and when the
am
actual was time to
reimbursed.
pay was
And the
less,
same for
I'm
if
going
I
to
pull
throw in
from the
this
health
category. And I'm
category,
only going to
the
pull
money
from this
should go back
category
to that
when I
health
have to pay
category.
more on a bill than I budget. So it's kind of like it's a buffer for that. This is a way that I feel that will help me not make any mistakes, such as pulling from my buffer. So let's hope that all works out. And again, things change, our budget change. So I always say, you can make a plan, but sometimes things doesn't go as we wish. Therefore, honestly, have these knowing that these are estimates helps me with making the right decision. So I'm glad I did this talk through and actually was able to come to some decisions regarding the sinking funds and the amounts that I am willing to send from out of my budget. If you have any suggestions, any questions or concerns, please leave them in the comment section. If this is your first time here and you would love to be part of my village, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To all my current subscribers, thank you. Everyone hit that like button. It really helps. I'm telling you, it does. And that's what I want to do, help others. And in order to do that, they have to see my videos. And please share this with your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Peace out.